I, Alingam Yusufa Job,
do hereby affirm that I speak the truth,
whole truth, nothing but the truth.
so help me.
So help me God.
Thank you very much for the affirmation that we have taken that whatever you're going to say here is going to be the truth, nothing but the truth. We may proceed with the fourth and the main item that has to do with the presentation proper of the activity reports and then the audited financial statements. Honorable members, the sale reports are joint. You can find them in one booklet. That is both the activity and then the financial statements. For PURA, the board care or to whom is representing the care will lead us in the presentation. Your task is to do the introduction, and if you so wish, also you can do the presentation. Or if you are delegated to anyone, then the person will be doing the presentation. The presentation will take this form. We'll have the finance first, and in doing so, we give the executive summary of the financial statements, and that will be followed by the management letter to be presented by the audit firm. Then thereafter, we have the activity report. I'm not sure of the GPA compliance. GPA, you're here. Konjira? Okay. Okay, when he comes, then we'll know the update from GPA. So precisely your activity, the finance phase, management letter, and then the activity report. All the reports will have the summary versions of the reports. So over to you, the chairperson of the board.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think you made reference to 2020, it's 2021 report we are presenting. I think that should be noted here. Honorable Chair, person of the Finance and Public Accounts Committee, honorable members of the Finance and Public Accounts Committee, the clerk of the National Assembly, the subject matter specialist, GPPPA representative, members of the Board of Directors of PURA, the Director General of PURA, the management and staff of PURA here present, the external auditors, the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of the Board of Directors, management and staff of the Gambia Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, PURA, I'm delighted to present the annual report and the financial statements of the authority for the year 2021. The financial statements will be presented by Mr. Paul Mendy. This report aims to showcase the significant accomplishments and the strategic steps PURA has taken in pursuit of its mission and vision to foster a digitally transformed nation and elevate ICT and energy service delivery. The achievements detailed in this report are a testament to our unwavering commitment to realizing the goals set out in our strategic objectives. Honorable Chairperson and honorable members of FPAC, even in the face of unprecedented challenges posed by the global COVID-19 pandemic, the authority remains steadfast in executing its mandate. The pandemic shed a spotlight on the pivotal role of ICT in our economy, leading to a surge in the utilization of ICT across various sectors. This surge was primarily driven by the evolving needs and demands of consumers as they adapted to the new normal. This surge, in turn, significantly contributed to our nation's progress towards achieving a digital economy, as outlined in the National Development Plan. We recognize that the growth of energy and ICT services is paramount to our mandate and heightens consumer expectations. Our pursuit of strategic objectives continues to be instrumental in guiding the authority towards the creation of a connected society. We are doing so through the development and implementation of enabling regulations, fostering partnerships, and promoting innovation in both ICT and renewable energy solutions.
Sorry, Mr. Chair. Can you guide us to where you are reading the statement from?
The statement is part of the report.
Yeah, which page?
I extracted the statement. I'm reading it outside. Huh?
Page 4.
Mm-hmm.
The first page 4.
Chairman statement.
Yeah.
Chairman's statement is, that's in Roman 14?
Yeah.
Huh? Roman 14?
Yes.
Yeah, is it verbatim? Yeah, but is it verbatim or an extraction?
It's an extraction.
Can you provide us a copy of the extracted version? Okay?
Okay, we will do so.
You may proceed.
Yeah.
May I proceed?
No, you.
I'm sorry. Distraction.
No, it's all right.
Sorry for that.
The rapid adoption and increased use of ICT have expanded our operational footprint, but also exposed us to a broader range of risks and challenges in cyberspace. Nevertheless, the authority reaffirms its unwavering commitment to the implementation and enforcement of the Gambia Computer Security and Incident Response Team, GM SHAD. In the course of this year, we have initiated cybersecurity awareness campaigns and established a robust security management framework through our dedicated cybersecurity unit. To fulfill this mandate, the authority via the GMSAD actively reports on cybersecurity incidents relating to mobile applications, significantly enhancing our capability to address cybersecurity threats. We remain steadfast in our commitment to create a conducive environment that fosters the optimal development of the ICT and the energy sectors. This goal is attainable through continued effective regulation, strategic partnerships, and collaboration with key stakeholders. I wish to express my deep gratitude to the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, the Minister of Petroleum and Energy, the Minister of ICT, and ICT service providers, our strategic partners, and all other stakeholders. It is through your tireless support that we achieve these significant milestones. I would also like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to the dedicated members of the board, management, and entire staff of the authority. Your commitment and invaluable contributions have been the driving force behind our achievements. Furthermore, I wish to acknowledge the honorable members of this select committee for their invaluable insights and guidance during our mandatory reporting and presentation to them. I look forward to a vibrant, successful, and transformative year ahead as we continue our journey to realize our mission and mandate. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much.
I think if Honorable Chair permits, the Director General will make a general statement before the specific presentation of the financials and the activity report. Thank you.
That should be summarized, please. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Clerk of the National Assembly, Chairperson of the FPAC, honorable members of FPAC, subject matter specialists, GPPA, the Chairperson of the Board of Directors of PURA, members of the board, management and staff, external auditors, the media, all protocols observed. Good afternoon, everyone. As the chairman has rightfully stated in his remarks, the ICT and energy sectors in the Gambia has continued their upward trend, and this has been marked by increase in telephony, internet, and mobile money subscriptions. The energy sector as well has been expanding greatly with the ever-increasing consumer base and increasing urbanization, which has necessitated sourcing energy beyond our borders, as well as giving energy initiatives for green energy. Gamtel, Africell, and QCell have increased their active mobile subscribers, whilst Comium has decreased 36% during the period under review. We have a new additional subscribers in the country averaging 2% in mobile penetration, and the total number of new additions in meters, electricity meters, rose to 16% in 2021 compared to 2020, which was 13%. We continue the deployment of 3G and 4G throughout the country. Members of FPAC, to enhance the quality of service, inspections were conducted on licensed operators to assess the level of compliance and implement remedial action, including quality of service and other actions, and monitoring their activities. The authority disseminated consumer advisory information, campaign brochures, and outreaches, and licensed some forums. Advisory information was also shared on our website. To safeguard consumers in the ICT and energy sector, we handle consumer complaints diligently and speedily. And we also ensure that the service complaints are relayed to the providers to ensure that they attend to them. Social media has become very important in this 24/7 world of communication. And we have improved on our website and our digital footprint. This has helped us to brand the institution better and improve the communication with our stakeholders. We have to note also that there are ills in social media, which PURA is also looking into to ensure that they are monitored and controlled somehow. To effectively regulate this sector, the authority carries out capacity building of its staff, encourage transfer of knowledge and institutional capacity, which maintains highly skilled and competent workforce. These achievements have provided positive input on the ICT and energy sector and their regulation. It should be noted that a lot has happened since 2021, and some of these events and activities that we are talking about today might have been overtaken by new developments and new initiatives. However, they will feature in our subsequent reports that will be delivered as soon as requested by this august body. The milestones achieved by the authority could not have been realized without the support of the board, management, and staff. So we extend our appreciation, as the chairman has said, to the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Ministry of ICT, Petroleum, for their continuous support. We also thank FPAC as well as all the members of the PURA board. Finally, we want to commend the staff for their contribution of advancing the authority's strategic objective and acknowledge the support that we've received from the government, which has been pivotal and very much appreciative, and including non-interference in PURA's decision and work. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's proceed with the finance.
Good afternoon. I'm here to report on the financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2021. I start with the income statement on page 11 at the back and the financial statement.
Just go to the middle, page 11. Midway in the book, you see page 11 there. Yeah. Midway. Are you there? Okay, you can proceed.
Okay. Reporting on the income statement for the year revenue. We start with the income. Revenue as at 31st December 2021, it was 135,563,720, compared to 2020 of 128,989,768. We have other income. 2021 it was 3,433,241, compared to 2020 1,194,162. Total income 2021 is 138,996,961, compared to 2020 130,183,930. We go to expenses. Personal expenses in 2021 it incurred 49,623,843, compared to 2020 is 31,942,491. Go to administrative expenses. In 2021 we incurred 50,719,514 compared to 2020 of 34,056,312. Depreciation charges. In 2021 it was $3,892,024, compared to 2020 is $3,722,792. We have impairment charge. In 2021 there was none, but in 2020 it was 16,540,713. Total expenses in 2021 is 104,235,381. Compared in 2020 is 86,262,308. So we have surplus for the year. In 2021 it was 34,761,580, compared to 2020 of 43,921,622. We go to the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2021. We start with the non-current assets, that's property, plant, and equipment. In 2021, it was net is 6,357,938, compared to 2020 of 4,596,167. So you have total non-current assets of 6,357,938, compared to 2020 of 4,596,167. Current assets. We have current assets. We have investment. In 2021 it was 20 million, and in 2020 it was 64 million. Receivables. In 2021 it was 84,790,808, compared to 2020 of 78,798,273. We have cash and cash equivalent. In 2021 it was $89,157,054, 154,576 compared to 2020 of 33,040,680. We have total current assets of 193,945,384 compared to 2020 of 175,838,953. So you have total assets of 200,303,322 is compared to 2020 of 118,435,120. We go to equity and liabilities and capital and reserves. So you have retained earnings. For the year 2021, it was 183,969,273 compared to 2020 is 149,207,693. So we have total equity and reserves of 183,969,273 compared to 2020 of 149,207,693. We have liabilities, current assets, payables. We have in 2021 is $16,334,049 compared to 2020 of $31,227,427. We have total current assets, liabilities of $16,334,049 is compared to 2020 of $31,227,427. So we have total equity and liabilities of 200,303,322 compared to 2020 of 180,435,120. We go to the other next page, page 13. 13, the other, next page. That's okay. Okay.
The management letter, the audit.
Thank you. We can start with page 4.
Which page 4? The midway?
It's where you have the management letter section.
Okay. And then we must just go to the tail end. We'll say page 4 of that. That's the last part. Page 4. You've seen. Cora? Okay. Yes, audit.
This first point is follow up on internal audit points. Read 1, observation 1. Observation.
You can read the observation and recommendation.
Okay. We are concerned that a series of internal control and other related issues reported by the internal audit team remain uncleared as at the end of the year are shown in Appendix 1. Some are even dating back from 2020. Recommendation. Both the board and senior management will assign a responsible officer to ensure closure of all internal audit concerns. These individuals will report to both the board and senior management at every scheduled meeting. Page 5, observation 2. Approval of the annual work plan of the internal auditor. Graded 2, observation. We noted that the internal audit work plan for 2021 was not signed by the chairman as evidence of approval of the entire board. The annual work plan presented for review was signed by only the Director General, with the internal auditor signing as the preparer. Recommendation. The board should ensure that the annual work plan is signed by the chairman as when approved. Next page, page 6. Observation 3, relating to expenses and expense management. Observation. Our review of the expenses, personnel and administrative for the year showed some very significant jump in some expense lines during the year, even though it is just a year into the post-pandemic period. Some of these expenses are shown in Appendix 2. We are expecting some moderate increase in many lines, but an overall increase of 2%, which is $34,344,554, as shown below, was unprecedented, given a very moderate increase of 7%, which is $8,813,031 in total revenue. This increase in expenses is more than 7 times the increase in total revenue or income. Expenses, personnel expenses for 2021 was $49,623,843, compared with 2020 $31,942,491, which is a variance of $17,681,352. In dollar term and percentage term, is 55% variance. Administrative expenses, $50,719,514 in 2021, compared with $34,056,312 in 2020, with a dollar variance of $16,663,102, percentage-wise 49%. Total expenses for 2020 of these two of $100,343,357, compared with $65,998,803 in 2020. Dollar variance of $34,344,554. Variance percentage-wise 52%. Income-wise, revenue for the year was $135,563,720 in 2021, compared with $128,989,763 in 2020. Variance dollars-wise, $6,573,952 in percentage-wise 5%. Other income in 2021, $3,433,241 in 2020, $1,194,162. Variance in dollar terms, $2,239,079. Percentage-wise, 188% increase. Total revenue in 2020 was $138,996,961, compared with $130,183,930. Variance in dollar terms was $8,813,031. Variance percentage-wise was 7%. Recommendation. The board and senior management should ensure that expenses increase in line with total revenue or income. Page 8. Observation 4. Expense management. Environment. Observation. From our review of the board minutes, we noted that some environments were made between budget lines, which were approved by the board as shown below. $3 million was wired from basic salaries and allowances to medical expenses. $2 million was wired from petroleum management to conferences and meetings. $3 million was wired from project implementation expenses, mainly gateway management, to travel and training, local and overseas. 2,330,000 was wired from flat subscriptions to Director General's vehicles. Also, we noted that when approval for wiremen to travel and training, local and overseas, was requested from the board in October, they already exceeded their budgets without any prior approval as shown below. Budget line, travel and training overseas, 500 million, that was the approved amount. Actual expenditure at the time of the environment was 6,134,200. A negative variance of 1,134,200. Local training, approved budget was 1 million. Actual expenditure at the time of environment was 1,008,930. A negative variance of 8,970. However, one of the environment was approved by the board without regard to the requirement of the Public Finance Act 2014 and its regulation of 2016. Section 29(8) of this Public Finance Act prohibits environment from personal emoluments, that is wages and salaries, to other costs in the budget lines. Recommendation: senior management and the board should ensure that the requirements of the Public Finance Act and its regulation are observed as far as practicable. Also, budget lines should only be exceeded with approval from the board. Senior management should enhance its management information system to be able to properly track and report on variances on real time. Next observation on page 10, observation 5, cash and cash equivalent treasury management. Observation: we noted with concern that a huge amount of cash was left with the banks, $89,154,576 at the end of the year, not invested in treasury bills and other government bonds, compared with only $33,040,680 as at the end of 2020. This is coupled with reduction in investment in treasury bills of $44 million in the same period. The amount of investment in treasury bills as at the end of the year was $20 million compared to $64 million as at the end of 2020. Recommendation: senior management and in particular the Director of Finance will ensure proactive management of the liquid assets of the entity by constantly exploring investment potentials of those resources. Next observation on page 11, observation 6, finance manual, draft finance manual. Observation: we are concerned that the finance manual has been in draft for months after being available for senior management's review. Recommendation: the Director of Finance should ensure that this draft manual is available for board consideration as a matter of priority. Next observation on page 12. Observation 7. Expenses. No supporting documents attached. Observation: during our review, we observed that the following payment vouchers were not supported with receipts and invoices, mainly medical expenses and specific dates. Payment of transportation and logistics for Makaira Jonga return to Dakar, 10,000. On 5th of June 2021, payment of overseas medical treatment for SMG MCIRT, third trip, 200,000. November 29, 2021, in payment for the purchase of eyeglasses for head of GMCIR Max Jonga, 15,000. Recommendation: management should ensure that all expenses be attached with all the necessary supporting documents to give a clear view of the expense amount. Next observation, page 13, regulatory fees. Observation 8. Observation: during our review, we observed that the calculations and invoicing of the regulatory fees for 2021 were based on turnover of the audited 2019 financial statement instead of turnover of the audited 2020 financial statement as required. Recommendation: the Director of Finance will ensure that the regulatory fees are based on the turnover of the previous year audited financial statement as required. It's the last one. The rest are matters raised in previous year, and also the appendix. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Earlier on, I did find out whether you have anything from GPA.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We don't have any report for PURA for 2020. Our last report was 2017 to 2018, which was presented already.
2017
2018.
2017 to
2018.
treated,
Yes.
and now you have 2019
2019 to 2022.
to 2022 under,
It's not yet reviewed.
or is under review.
We scheduled PURA to be reviewed in November, December.
But they have done the submission.
Pardon?
They have done the submission. They are yet to submit.
No. We've not even reviewed them.
If not reviewed,
We've not reviewed them. For
I mean, have
2019.
they reviewed to you, submit to you for review?
No.
No. But are you done with the?
No, I mean, we haven't even go there for the
You
review.
haven't gone there,
Yes.
and you say you schedule.
Yes, they are part of the institution that we scheduled to be reviewed
2019
for 2019 to 2022.
to 2022.
Yes.
And when are you going to do the review according to your schedule?
November to December. Yeah.
Mr. Chair, can I?
Yeah.
Yeah, with your permission, just to clarify that we have submitted up to date. It is GPPA that needs to do their review. So it's not PURA that's holding them back.
When you say up to date, that means
Up to 2021,
2020,
2021.
2022.
We do it monthly, actually. Monthly reports. They have been submitted. So we are not the ones holding the review. It is their scheduling.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
have-
I think he has.
Just wanted to clarify.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mentioned that. That is,
yeah.
they're
Thank you.
scheduled to
November,
do the review from 2019 to 2021,
in November.
November to December.
Yeah, so we just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Can we proceed with the activity report? And let's have the executive summary of the presentation of the activity report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We've touched on some of the activities during our statements, both myself and the chairman. But we'll gloss through quickly some of the highlights of the annual report that we have in 2021. Basically, I think everyone knows who we are and what we do. So the mission and vision and those parts will not be deliberated upon. The areas that we have clarified as significant on our strategic objectives include the corporate governance and HR, legal and compliance review, financial review, market development review, and key regulatory activities that the authority has embarked upon. On the chart, in terms of our corporate governance, headed by the board and the various directorates that exist within PURA, that is highlighted on the report as well. Thank you. The report also highlights trainings that have been embarked upon by the institution, which are listed in terms of needs of the authority, in terms of increasing the capacity for the staff that are working within the authority and ensuring that their skills are honed and redirected to the strength in the area that they occupy. Various trainings have been undergone both locally and overseas to increase the capacity of the staff.
Can you direct us to the page?
That is on page 5, 6, and 7. It shows the,
So precisely where are you at page 5?
yeah, page 5, short-term training by directorates,
Okay.
stipulates the directorates and who went for which trainings. And page 6 does the same, and page 7. So that was just highlighting some of the key training and capacity development that the institution has embarked upon. We wanted to also highlight the macroeconomic situation of the country, and with specific emphasis on the areas that we regulate. Key among them, the big sectors, the ICT, petroleum, and energy sectors. In the telecommunication sector, we have already stated in our statement the increase in mobile penetration, as well as fixed line and mobile internet, which has increased exponentially, whilst the ISP subscribers have gone down a bit. In terms of the subscribers, we've also highlighted the various operators and the level of subscription that they have, including the active mobile subscribers from 2017 to 2021. And the current situation can be discerned from this, looking into the drop in Gamcell, whilst you have increases in Africell and QCell. Comium also had a drop. We have also looked at giving information in terms of the mobile voice and tariffs of operators, total internet subscribers, which is on page 13. On page 14, also the ISP subscribers have been highlighted. Page 15, we discuss the internet service provider tariffs and how much they charge to the general public. On the energy side, with water and sewage, we've deliberated on the electricity sector, which has been unable to match our national water and electricity company, has not been able to match the ever-increasing demand, which is also cause for concern. This is because most of these state-owned enterprises have challenges in terms of operation and financial capabilities. The situation has been really very serious, and of late we have seen it coming out in the recent days. NAWEC has a total installed capacity increase to 135 megawatts compared to 112 megawatts in 2020. But despite this increase in capacity, the total population with access to electricity still falls short by almost 60% in the reporting year. This means there should be a significant bolstering of sources to address this inequity. The current situation meant that we had to bring in support from Car Power, the ship that is supplying part of our energy supply, as well as Senelec from Senegal. This bolstered our capacity a bit. The tariffs at this stage, that year, we were still in the review process. And of late, we have done the tariff review, which we know is always already in the media. It's been not very popular, but that's the role of the regulator. We've shown the various tariffs that exist on page 18, as well as the generating capacity. Also, we've talked about the facts and figures compared to the amount of urbanization that is happening, which is pulling so much resources as well as capacity constraints for NAWEC. We have tried to see that some diversification is happening, and the good news is that a lot of solar is now being harnessed in terms of development, which will come through in the coming years. And this green energy will alleviate the situation of dependence on this heavy fuel generation capacity of NAWEC. We also spoke about the third-party sales, which are happening in terms of the vendors that are selling NAWEC cash power. And we spoke about GAMSwitch, which is managing the interbank payment system. We've listed the institutions that are involved in these sales
that are the big ones, including Trust Bank, Chapman, QCell, AfriMoney, and so on. Those are stated on page 21. On page 22, we mentioned about the water and sewerage services and water security, which is a core driver in transforming this country and Africa at large. And the population growth is constantly creating a high demand for clean water. These demands are putting pressure on the current water supply, and the utility is unable to meet this demand. The very huge part of the population don't have access or have very intermittent supply. We've shown the number of boreholes that exist in the various regions and main treatment plants. We've also shown the sewerage plants in Banjul and Kotu. They are operating. In the reported year, the utility reported a decrease in water production despite the increase in water customers and infrastructure. And the utility outlined that this is due to increase in the number of faulty meters in most of their treatment plants, which results in inaccurate data. Cumulative water loss continued to be on the rise in the past years as well, and mainly in the form of burst pipes, under-metering, or perhaps illegal connections. These cause tangible financial loss to the government utility. We've also highlighted on page 24 the petroleum sector, where there has been also a huge growth compared to the volumes of liters that are imported and that are used. And on page 25, we also spoke about the pump price, which has been significantly affected by the war in Ukraine, as well as pandemic time. But this year was just the year after the pandemic situation started to temper a bit. The diesel and petrol pump prices and their variations and upward and downward trends are highlighted in the report. We also, on page 26, spoke about the legal and compliance review, where licensing for broadcasting, licensing for TV, and ISPs have all been highlighted. And this integrates the Department of Legal and Licensing and Enforcement and what they have been doing during 2021. Litigations were carried out for action against defaulters, and in that year, it was the issue of the Comium saga, where they failed to pay almost 60 million of money owed to the government, and we had to take action to ensure that this money has been paid. And we are glad to report that this money was settled due to action taken by PURA. The licensing department also did a lot of licensing on downstream petroleum operators. A lot of applications for licenses were received. Retail licenses were listed in the list that is provided with 9 companies. And petroleum product importation and export licenses, a lot of companies have come in for that as well. We've seen about 16, whilst transportation of petroleum products, 18 companies applied for it. There has been applications for liquefied petroleum gas as well, and broadcasting and radio stations. However, on the radio stations, there has been a moratorium, which was instituted by the Ministry of Information, and it's still in place. So PURA did not license any new stations. Licensing on the telecom sector also were stable at that time. No new applicants, except the one that was received from Giraffe, which was approved, and they are yet to commence their operations. We have also looked at some licensing for broadcasting through the TV stations, digital terrestrial providers, including iAfrica. Internet service providers also came in, few of them, during this period. And the electricity sector also, we had Unique Energy, which started their solar mini grid in Nyamanar and provided electricity to 200 households. The authority visited Nyamanar on the 16th of October to assess the electricity generation and distribution license And the Honorable Minister of Petroleum and Energy granted Unique the license to operate. And this is something that has been in the making, and is going to improve our capacity. We expect more application in this area. Enforcements included stop notices for defaulters on the regulation regime of PURA. Some of these, as I say, would have been overtaken by current events or updated as of now. But at that time, this was the situation. Legal notices given to Mohamed Najib, Ja Oil, Africell, Comium, NetPage, DK Telecom. We also had letters written to them. They had also appealed to the authority for extensions. There has been other operators, including Decorus CC, that have asked for specific exemptions. The Comium issue we have spoken about, illegal fuel vending. The authority went on a campaign to ensure that the country is rid of illegal fuel vendors, and we seized a lot of illegal products from these vendors. We are in the process of making sure that this does not happen. So we'll do surprise visits to the various sectors and where we have information that illegal vendors are existing. And I think everybody saw the dangers of having people run illegal fuel in their country, in their homes, with the accidents that they create. So we are still doing more and more to ensure now we have more vehicles to go around and look into these issues, unlike before where we were handicapped by transportation. Challenges we've set here, whilst PURA plays a fundamental role in availability and affordability of quality public service and knowledge, and does its regulatory function, in some of the sectors are below satisfactory. And some of these are caused by the low compliance level of some of the licensees, inadequate funding, limited training, and low pace of levy payments compliance, especially from public utilities. A national petroleum information system was installed by PURA, which now does the licenses online and electronically and can be accessed from anywhere. This has improved our ability to process and action on needs and reduce the delay and ensure that there is audit trail on how these approvals are being done. We have rented a small office as an annex because the PURA staff have increased. In the past, we had some departments with only 1 or 2 people, and when they are on leave, everything stops, which is very serious. And that will explain some of the reason why the salaries has increased exponentially. Training opportunities we are given. We are reviewing the ICT Act. We are reviewing the PURA Act currently. And these are some of the things that will improve and update the authority's mandate and ensure that we are in line with current situation. The way forward, we are doing more awareness campaigns to sensitize the general public and also to ensure that we regulate the public utility providers. The staff are being more exposed to exchange programs, study tours, international workshops, which will help to build their capacity and ensure that we are in line with best practice. We are engaging with government institutions in the reforms that are taking place. We are doing our best to ensure that our regulatory independence and self-reliance is maintained. Stakeholders have been contributing a lot to the development agenda and ensuring that we are financially stable as an authority. Institutional, modernized, strategic, and performance-based management system. We've developed our 3-year strategic plan and monitoring performance management framework, which will help to ensure that proper reward is given for performance and sanctions are done for non-performance. PURA will continue to promote introduction of regulatory courses in local institutions so that people from school, from curriculum, know how to work in this sector. So key information activities that have been done, which I've already highlighted, we don't need to go back into them. The mobile markets have been given. On page 43, we have highlighted actions we have taken to prevent dangerous constructions which have affected aviation, and we've made sure that these towers, the installation of towers, follow the best practice and avoid any hazards to aviation. We've had emergency numbers given to ensure that people are sensitized. We support a weekly program for fire and hazard so that the public are aware on how to be careful to ensure what to do when there's a danger to their homes. We've bought some very important equipment during this period, spectrum monitoring analyzer. In the past, we used to depend on the operators to give us the data or information on the level of spectrum. However, we are now able, through the support of funding agencies, to buy our own equipment, and we do our testing by ourselves, so we don't need to depend on them. We have been collaborating with a lot of institutions to ensure that we coordinate our approach, including the Consumer Complaints Authority. We've spoken already about the electricity and water with Car Power. We've given more details on what we have done and picturesque details on our role and our work. The illegal fuel issues I've mentioned and the hazards that they cause, which we are ensuring that we are on top of it to ensure they don't recur. Water quality, we support the Department and Ministry of Water, where we buy some of even their reagents as well as equipment needed to do these testings. And we do our own part to ensure that we go along, tag along when these testings are done to make sure that they are accurate and correct. There's a lot of improvements on that area. Monitoring and inspections, as well as the consumer affairs, ensuring that complaints are being handled. Currently, we even have a digitalized complaints management system, which is now in place so that we can see the number of complaints in relation to which areas and what action has been taken and how long it took for the actions to be taken. In terms of analysis, these are some of the actions we have taken. We continue our very famous Bantaba outreach, which goes through the rural areas every 2 years to ensure that we meet the people themselves and hear their complaints, and even check for ourselves that their complaints are serious and real so that action can be taken. These are some of the key issues that we have been deliberating with at the authority, and we will keep improving and bolstering our actions to ensure that the public is given the best services that they deserve at a price that is equitable, as well as ensuring that the government and the people are satisfied with the regulatory regime done by PURA. I thank you.
Honorable members, this has brought us to the end of the presentations. We have the financial statements and then the activity reports presented for 2021 and then earlier on we are informed that the GVA compliance 2019 to 2022 will be under review by GPA from November to December. On that note, honorable members, in the absence of any other business, can any honorable member move that we adjourn the meeting until tomorrow 10 a.m.? That's not for PURA. Yeah, that's not for PURA. Can somebody move that we adjourn the meeting until tomorrow 10 a.m.? Second. We adjourn the sitting to tomorrow 10 a.m. Those in favor, please say aye. And those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. On that note, the meeting stands adjourned until tomorrow 10 a.m.